Welcome back, guys. Wanted to close off the new year with what I learned from Headspace in a year. So I figured talking about the concept of meditation would require sacramental, ritualistic smoke from Palo Monsanto. It is a beautiful day today, guys. I wasn't expecting it to be this clear. To all my friends and audience that are watching this that are from back east, there was a little bit of snow this week. It did not stick, and we're still dealing with a lot of sunlight. I can still see the green on the grass. So we got no snow over here. I know you guys back east have a lot of snow. Try and keep this lit. This video might be a little bit long. It's going to be scripted, and I'm filming this on the 31st of December. I won't be able to get this uploaded to my channel. I'm just really busy this week, so plus I'm making a couple other videos as well. So this video is going to be scripted, and I'm just going to go through a lot of the points of what meditation is, how to do it, and what you learn from Headspace with the guided meditations. There's so many different ways to meditate. It's unreal. And it's been practiced for centuries. So I'm just going to kind of go through what I learned and what were some of the main techniques that I used in Headspace and what I was taught. So without further ado, here we go. The main focus in meditation and what I learned in Headspace was breathing and coming back to the breath. So it would teach you in a variety of packs of just from the basics to getting real specific. Like I even used meditation for my competition this year. I was able to use it to really hone in my focus in the gym and with lifting weights, and also to visualize myself being in this athletic state, or to be in a competition with the people that I'm around, and to stay focused on the aspect of what I was going to be doing on stage, how I was going to do it, how I was going to present myself. So there was some visualization techniques in there as well. Some other packs consisted of things like pain management, self-esteem, anxiety and worry. The last one that I was working on before I ended my subscription to Headspace was relationships, and that was teaching me a lot about the people that I have in my life, friends, family, relationships with girls, or people that I greatly disliked, who could be people that I once knew a long time ago, or people that I just didn't get along with that were in my family. So there's a variety of subjects kind of intertwining in that one pack with relationships. So in all of our techniques, we'd always come back to the breath. So if we were noting something, if we were focusing on the visualization technique and using the inner light, with like how they presented it was starting with a speck of light in the center of your chest and letting it expand out throughout your body. And it could be a healing energy, it could be an awareness energy, it could be something along the lines of that. So there was that. And it could be feelings of healing. It could be like a healing energy, a healing light. It could be a loving light. It could be a joyous light. So you could really kind of tie your emotions into it a little bit and see just kind of where your flow went with the calmative counts of the breath. There was also counting the breaths, where you would breathe in for 4 and then out for a 6 count. And that just kind of helped reset it really kind of just helped reset your mind, man. I mean, it was just kind of crazy. It helped with the calming effect because you're getting more oxygen into the lungs and into the body and really oxygenating the blood, which was really good. It's kind of like the Wim Hof method. One thing that I did at the end of all my sessions too, just as a quick note, was that I would always hold my breath for as long as I could to just try and pump up my body with the oxygen. And I was able to actually starting to hold it for about a minute 50 to 2 minutes. So I got a little bit of pine pollen powder in my lip here. I got it pocketed right here. So just trying to get some extra energy for the day. All right, moving on. Body scanning was the next thing that they taught you. They taught you about aligning and scanning through your chakras from the top of the head down to the brow to about the sacral part. I can't really name the chakras off the top of my head, so I'm sorry, but they always talked about the solar plexus here. And I would actually go further from the navel point. I would actually go to my knees and then my feet. So if you wanted to do just a full scan from top to bottom, you could just go from the top of the head down to the center of the brow, the throat, the chest, the solar plexus, hips, knees, and feet. And I was always sitting cross-legged with my pillows. I've shown you that before. I'm sure you guys might be able to see those in the background. Opening up the chakras is always important too, and being aware of opening up the chakras. They do that with every beginning session with meditation, with the Headspace app. So it's really good. And it's always good to practice too, I think, with your meditation sessions. So I don't believe too much in the chakras, but I know that it's good to kind of be aware of them and just kind of have notoriety of them. So it's an interesting concept to me overall. So I think it's interesting to look into. Noting. Noting was something that I learned when I was dealing with anxiety and pain management. How you go through the noting process is you bring into awareness that your mind is starting to drift, and then you want to bring it back. They also had a focus pack based on this as well. And what you would do is, as you were breathing and focusing on the breath, say your mind would trail off a little bit, and when that would happen, you would just give it a light touch, as if you're kind of like touching it with a feather, is how they described it. And you would just say, okay, I'm thinking about this. I'm going to come back to the breath. And then I would just take another breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then say a negative thought came up, and then I would just kind of lightly touch it with a feather, visually, imagining me touching that thought with a feather, and then think, okay, yeah, I remember that. And then I just come back to the breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So with that, noting was an interesting technique that I had learned, and when things like that come up when I'm meditating for at least 10 minutes, I would note it and then come back to the breath. It was kind of hard to learn at first, but with the packs guiding me and having that guided meditation, I was able to come back to it, and I was able to stay focused on my session. So not every session that I had, guys, was perfect. It wasn't, it definitely took a long time to get it down. But with learning any new skill or trying to master a skill takes time and consistency and failure, because you learn more from your mistakes than you do getting things right all the time. So that was the subject of noting. Visualization. Again, I just spoken about this earlier. It talked about having an inner light and kind of making a sphere around your body. The other technique was to expand that light, this dome of light around you, that you're fully embodied in it, and you have it coursing from the top of your head down to the bottoms of your feet and the tips of your fingertips, out through your hands. You're an embodiment of light. Then it turns into a dome around you. That's how he talks to you on the app, and you're visualizing this dome. And then one of the techniques was to expand that dome as far and as vastly as you could from your present state. So it's just kind of like bringing yourself almost kind of like you looking down. Best example, Google Earth, you know, that kind of app. And then like you're starting at your base point, which is you and your chest. And then you're just coming out from the top of it, like you're floating up above yourself. And then you're expanding that light from where you are to the apartment that you're sitting in, or say you're sitting outside in the lawn, expanding it a block or two. You're expanding it the whole vast of the block. You're expanding it past towards the outskirts of the city. Then you're going out towards the city to other little towns around you or other cities. And then you're expanding it towards the vastness and the like huge velocity of you and the state that maybe you live in. and then you're expanding to other states and above. Then from where I live on the West Coast, so I'd probably start to, at this point, see the West Coasts at some point. And then you're going further out, and you're just trying to make that dome as big as you can to like being at the top of the world and expanding that light and the vastness of all these different continents and countries, overseeing the sea, overseeing, you know, the Arctic Circle, the Arctic Plains, overseeing the rest of the United States, maybe seeing Europe, South America, you know, Asia, Russia, whatever, what have you. Just, it gets bigger and bigger within your own mind. So you're creating it. It's your own imagination versus what you can perceive in reality. The other thing was with the visualization technique was pain management. There was a pain management pack that I took because I have some old injuries that I've dealt with most of my life. And I was able to visualize the pain being in one centered spot and then lessening it. And then the visualization technique was to maybe move that pain around and distribute it, but to turn it into a kind of a form of energy and circulate it throughout the body, and keeping all those vessels and everything clean within my, you know, my own circuitry, my own energy, things like that. And then I was able to deal with the pain. I wasn't able to absolutely get rid of it, but I was able to lessen it, and I was able to rethink my emotional attachment to pain and consider it doable, accepting my current circumstance. So there was that. And that was like a 30-day pack. They vary from like 10 to 30 days. The 30 days kind of get more in depth, but they're more focused on the subject matter that they're trying to teach you and what you're trying to learn in that pack for those 30 days. The last one was managing stress / self-esteem. A lot of people can coincide self-esteem with depression. I mean, how I dealt with anxiety and depression, meditation was a good way to deal with it. I'll have to do a future video on that, but I was able to use the noting technique and just to recognize and change my relationship with stress, and just to know that I can't completely get rid of stress because our body is in tune to use certain hormones within the body that alert us, and it's for survival purposes, naturally built into us, just as part of our ancestral heritage. So we can't get rid of things like cortisol, that one hormone that wakes us up in the morning, or we overuse it by stimulating ourselves with caffeine, any kind of stimulant, to try and get more of it coursing through our body to get things done for the day. It was a learning experience with how I viewed stress and how I could actually use it to my advantage, or at least lessen the control it had over me. Because when you let those certain emotions and tendencies take control of you, you are no longer in control. So I would have to say that after doing that pack and learning the noting technique, along with body scanning and visualization, I really learned how to control more of my stress and my anxiety with my own persona and my own being. And meditation through and through has just helped me out with that. Just really being calm and sitting back and just looking at your present self and being self-aware really helps you to muse and to deeply think about what's going on in your life. And so I started out this year doing just trial runs with the app and learning how to meditate. I would only take about a minute or two at a time. Then I bumped it up to 3 minutes. Then I bumped my time up to 5. And then I realized that 10 minutes was at least a good platform for me to do daily. It didn't take too much time. I made the time to make it happen. That's the thing with this app. You got to make sure that you're making the time to make meditation happen for you. You can always take a minute and just slowly breathe and just stop. Let everything be and be aware in the moment. But the best benefits I found was taking at least 10 minutes out of my day in the morning and starting my day right, and learning how to meditate for 10 minutes. Some days I would go about 20 to 30 minutes too, depending if I had some extra time in the day and I just had maybe some problems, or maybe there were some things I was really thinking about And so sometimes I'll take my practice back to just that, and I'll actually add in meditation more. So that way I can try and figure out what I want to do next, what my next move is, or how I'm going to deal with this problem, or if I have a problem, or if I'm just stressed out. You know, meditation's really helped me a lot, and it has definitely changed my life this year, especially using this app. And I highly recommend the Headspace app. You can just type in on Google www.headspace.com, and it'll take you directly to the website, and you can download the app there via your phone, or you can just listen to it on your computer, what have you. It was just a very simple technique that they teach, and guided meditation is one way to start out, and I recommend it because you learn to kind of take control of your own circumstance, and you learn how to be your own person through that. So, yeah. But now I think that I can actually do away with the app, and I can actually just do 10 minutes on my own. I've made it so much of a practice and a part of my life now that when I don't meditate, my day feels off. So it's the same thing with prayer. You know, meditating in prayer, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't feel like I have to explain prayer. I feel like prayer is just more of a personal thing between you and whatever you serve. So, but that was my experience with Headspace, and I wanted to close that. I wanted to close this year with making another Headspace video and what it did for me within a year. So if anything, I will see you guys next year. I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, Happy New Year. 2019, here we come. Thanks for watching, guys.